Epstein remained with JPM. So even though people were like, oh yeah, well, we're not gonna have him as a client. No, he continued on as a client for years after that. Despite Epstein's 2008 guilty plea and ongoing sex crime allegations, neither JPMorgan nor Staley ended their relationship with Epstein. Between 2008 and 2013, Staley and Epstein exchanged 1,200 emails, including pictures of young girls in seductive poses. Inexplicably, the bank's brisk reviews of Epstein's accounts uncovered precisely 0 of his grossly improper communications with Staley. Now, I would say that is not inexplicable. I would say that's pretty explicable. I could explic it. Hey, it's the Goblin Queen.
I wanted to air this because I got sent this and I saw this and I watched most of it. I didn't see it all this morning. It's like 30 minutes long, but I watched part of it. And the guy's saying he's criticizing me because you do that, you don't get banned by the algorithm. And he's just one surfer coming on the waves we created. So he pretty much gets it. I thought it was entertaining and informative. He's also got a pretty ridiculous name. Extra Chill Goblin. We always like goblin jokes. I don't know why. I made goblin jokes years ago that became super viral, so whatever. Yeah. I'll air that. So here's Extra Chill Goblin, and then Harrison Smith takes over. Here it is. Extra Chill Goblin. He pretty much gets it. Dirty. He's also got a pretty ridiculous name. Extra Chill Goblin Vomit, Slop, and Blood. I thought it was entertaining and informative. He's got a goblin guide charging into a goblin's nest. I don't want to see him kissing goblins. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. Literal vampire pot-belly goblins are hobbling around coming after us. Extra chill goblin.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the show, Extra Chill Goblin. Thank you for tuning in today. You should make a picture of cartoon Alex Jones in bed with a goblin. I should maybe do that. I was thinking about that when I was editing that intro. Gang, thank you for tuning in. That's the official XCG, Extra Chill Goblin theme song, what you just heard. A shout out to friend of the stream, Alex Jones, for doing some of the vocals in that song. I love that video. I've watched it a million times now. Now, gang, you guys know who this dude is? Maybe you do if you saw the thumbnail for the stream, but this is Jes Staley. This is Jes Staley. Who's Jes Staley? That's another excellent question. Why don't we see what the mainstream idea of Jes Staley is from Wikipedia. American banker, the former group chief executive of Barclays. He spent 34 years at JPMorgan's investment bank, which is one of Epstein's main banks. After moving to Blue Mountain Capital in 2013, he became the CEO of Barclays in December 2015. But then in November 2021, he resigned amid a regulatory probe into whether he mischaracterized his relationship with the financier, human trafficker, and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. According to the New York Times, Staley was Epstein's chief defender at JPMorgan, helping Epstein maintain accounts at the firm amid internal concerns that Epstein was using the accounts for illicit activities. You know, they always say it's like, oh, it's always the guys you never expect. I feel like this guy, he looks like the kind of guy you would picture being Jeffrey Epstein's number 1 defender at JPMorgan. He looks creepy. I mean, all the pictures of him, it looks like he's like, oh, hello there, little girl. What are you looking for? I feel like he's saying something really unsettling in this photo. I can't prove it. It's just a feeling that I have. And if I've learned one thing about Epstein research from the past few weeks, that's all you need to say that something is confirmed. So actually, yes, I can confirm. I can confirm that. But yeah, and you know, we've known about this fucking guy and his fucking shit for a while. Here's another freaking creepy picture of the guy. Shh. This guy is like hands to, like, he looks like he's just like walking down the street. Was it like a paparazzi taking the shot? And he just was like, oh wait, here's a cool pose. Here you go, TMZ. TMZ, sorry. My Canadian is showing here. Is that right? Damn, I didn't know that. Jes Staley's grandfather was chair of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board under John F. Kennedy. That's nuts. Who was he shushing? Who indeed, Widgie161? Who indeed? We will not be getting to the bottom of that mystery, but maybe he was just like itching his nose, the side of his nose or something there. But we've got a couple of things to look at here. What do I start with? I should start with the emails. We're going to go down here. So these are some emails, and we'd heard about some of these emails I'm going to show you before, but some of them were just released over the last few tranches of the Epstein Files releases. So screenshotted these from Gmail. This part has nothing to do with Jes Staley. Jes Staley comes in later. Someone emailed Epstein about an audition that they had just done. Got feedback from audition. Students want to film me. We'll call you tomorrow. Still in Hamptons. Miss you. Letter you. Sent via BlackBerry from T-Mobile. This is sometime in 2010. Okay, if you couldn't tell from the BlackBerry part. And then Epstein says, Brett Ratner is going to film a big movie, Snow White. I would love to take photos of you in a Snow White costume. You can get it from the costume store. So I'm thinking right here, this is one of Epstein's victims, I think. I'm guessing. Some young girl, judging from the way she says, miss you. And she also seems to be an actor. Got feedback from audition. Students want to film me. So she's auditioning for student films, which is what you do if you're an actor starting out. A lot of times you'll be acting on these kind of amateur, low budget indie projects, student films, short films done at film schools and stuff. So it seems like she's at the very beginning of her acting career. We know Epstein would often promise these girls, oh, I can connect you. I can get you in with my buddy Les Wexner. We can get you a Victoria's Secret modeling gig. We can get you this. We can get you that. So I feel like he's like, yeah, I got my buddy Brett Ratner. He's going to make a Snow White movie. Now, Brett Ratner, as it turns out, did make a Snow White movie. It came out in 2011, so a year after this email was sent. It's called Mirror, Mirror. All right, with Julia Roberts. Don't know. But the girl in the middle is oh God, I forget her name. She's one of them Nepo babies. She's one of them Nepo babies you hear about in the news. She's Emily in Paris. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think this was the girl in the email. Seems to me that when this person started their acting career, they probably weren't struggling to do student films and stuff. I think this was someone who didn't actually get the role. Oh, and here's Brett Ratner at the premiere, just to show you. Yes, he was a producer on the movie. Not an executive producer, not one of the main ones, but he was one of the producers. Anyway, so we've got these two, and then we've got this person's response. We'll get it. Okay, so I would love to take photos of you in a Snow White costume. You can get it from the costume store. So she goes, we'll get it. Yes, Finland. Thank you. Lily Collins, the daughter of Phil. Yeah, I knew she was some kind of a Nepo baby. Right. Lily Collins ain't going out in 2010 doing these artsy student films, black and white, staring into a mirror as a rose bleeds whatever into the sink. And it represents the torture of existence weighed against the horror of non-being. You know what I'm talking about? You guys all went to film school, right? When I was at film school, we went to we would have at the end of the year we called it the finish line, I guess. Was that what it was called? I forget. I think I'm mixing up two things. But at the end of the year we had like a 4-night thing at the theater where every year would play the films of that year that the students had made. And usually only the students would go to their own screenings, unless you were, maybe people who were in the films would go see them too. But the first year screenings, so people who were just, fresh out of high school, come to film school, they get to make these movies. All of the older film guys would go. They would show up in the audience. But they would just we would all sit at the back and we'd watch the first year students, and we would just get drunk. And there's like drinking games. We drink anytime there was a shot out of focus, or if you could see a C-stand in the background, or a tripod or some kind of filming equipment. But one of them was staring into a cracked mirror. Somebody was there's so many of the first year films would have a suicide. It would have someone looking into a cracked mirror, a rose. There's all these kind of whatever cliches that we would kind of make fun of the students for. And I never knew about it. So when I did my first year film, I didn't realize that all the older kids were in the back doing it. And then when I found out about it, I was like, yeah, my first year film would have gotten a couple people lightly hammered. Anyway, movie also stars Armie Hammer. Well, that is interesting. Oh, what's this? Simpsons Wikipedia, Pocahontas. Oh, the film that Barney made for the Springfield Film Festival. Oh, right. Yeah. Anyway, so Epstein says, I would love to photograph you in a Snow White costume. Well, from one of the photos of his whatever place by the FBI, I believe this was of his New York place, we've got all these photos here, blah, blah, blah. And then look at this. This is this is in his New York mansion. This is the staircase, coming out of the staircase room with the fireplace that Bill Clinton was photographed in. So this is the staircase room on the staircase, and that looks like a Snow White costume from the costume store. So this seems to have happened. And this came out a while back, a couple months ago, not that long ago, but so we've sort of been able to connect all this. Then no subject. We don't know. The person who sent is redacted, but they sent it to Epstein. I watched Snow White. We don't know what this one's about. It seemed kind of relevant. And then July 10th. So this is all June 20th, June 26th. And then this is a little bit later, a couple weeks later. This is from Solana P. Okay, now I don't know who that is. Maybe a staff of Jeffries. Maybe we can try to figure that out in a second, actually. Hang on. But Solana P says, the Snow White was effed. It literally says F.ed. The Snow White was effed twice as soon as she put on her costume. Bracket. Somebody who types about as well as Epstein. Solana P. Who is that? It's an unusual name, right? Snow White was effed twice as soon as she put on her costume. That was July 10th. And now we come to July 11th, right? Oh, no, sorry. Oh, I guess I got this wrong. Oh, you know what? I got this in the wrong order. Sorry. This came the day before that last one about Snow White was effed twice. And this is from Jes Staley. This dude, okay? This is Jes Staley, CEO, whatever, of JPMorgan, Epstein's main defender. We'll get a little bit more into that in a second, but what he was doing for Epstein. Jes Staley says, maybe they're tracking you? That was fun. Say hi to Snow White. Oh, we have known about these for a while, but this is just adding it to the extra context here. Maybe they're tracking you? That was fun. Say hi to Snow White. Epstein says, what character would you like next? Jes Staley says, Beauty and the Beast. And this one hasn't leaked yet, but we actually know from an investigation into Jes Staley from a couple years ago that their exchange went further. That was fun. Say hi to Snow White. What character would you like next? Beauty and the Beast, Staley allegedly responded, to which Epstein replied, well, one side is available. The funny thing is, Pizzagate stuff, right? People think that Epstein would talk about pizza and grape soda when he really meant a young girl and a boy or something like that. Whatever people think grape soda is. We've all seen that shit, right? And I have gone over before. I do think that's total nonsense, malarkey, fucking baloney-ass hogwash bullshit. But when I saw this, I was like, well, this actually does seem like a pedophile code. Maybe it wasn't perfectly arranged, but even like maybe they're tracking you. Say hi to Snow White. What character would you like? Like, okay, maybe they had this sort of arrangement, but turns out, I guess this was literally like, say hi to Snow White. There's a girl in a Snow White costume. I mean, I guess you could call it code because they're being a little bit vague. This is like how I text my drug dealer when I get a new phone number. I'll text him something that he would know, but anybody else reading would be like, huh? Hey, it's James from the Boys in Red or whatever, because we both wore red one day. That isn't it. On purpose, I picked something that I wouldn't say, but you know what I mean? It seems like it's that sort of thing going on here. It's a spur of the moment code and a lot more literal than I thought. But what character would you like next? Beauty and the Beast. Well, one side is available. So weird. And so this is the next day. This is July 11th. So the timeline here, I did get this wrong. Let me fix it with Obsidian. Thanks to Obsidian, I can easily fix my dumb mistakes. Wow, it's so easy, just like that. You just click and drag and let go, and all of a sudden, everything's in the right order. You're a genius, Obsidian. Okay, we also have this email, and this is from the next day, all right, July 11th. So July 9th, Snow White was effed twice as soon as she put on her costume. July 10th, Jes Staley's like, say hi to Snow White for me. July 11th, Epstein sends this, no subject, no content in this email, but there is an attachment. And look at this, Snow White costume. This is it. I also recognize this room as the staircase room. It's got in the New York apartment, it's got the tiles on the floor, I recognize the molding over here. I spent a lot of time looking over photos of Epstein's apartments. So this is also New York. This is the staircase room. This is right in front of where this photo is, the staircase in the staircase room. So, I mean, could this have been the same day? Perhaps. Obviously, we don't know what day this photo was taken, because this photo is a photo of a photo, a physical photo. We ain't got, it's not an email attachment or anything. It's the FBI took these. So we have no idea where or when, where it is, but we don't know when it was taken. But this one appears to have been taken, I guess, I'm guessing that day, She's got bare feet, It's all very, some sort of weird cosplay service that Epstein offered to certain people who he trafficked children to. He's got it. Come on. Yeah. Jes Staley is, at this point, the most confirmable client, right? Yeah, right? I mean, what the fuck else could this mean? When all we had was this exchange here. Well, what character would you like next? It was already, so child sex trafficking. Okay, that's what happened here. But damn, dude, it is getting worse and worse for this guy. And I want to go over a little bit of the investigation into JPMorgan connection to Epstein, so check it out. So I'm just going to read right here from this document. What the fuck is this document again? Verified amended stockholder derivative complaint. This is some sort of court document about this case. Whether or not he was designated from the outset, it did not take long for JPMorgan employees to begin openly questioning the company's ongoing relationship with Epstein. A September 2006 New York Times article about Epstein's arrest for soliciting a minor for prostitution triggered emails among JPMorgan executives, including Erdo's, where she observed sarcastically that Epstein was a lovely guy to work with. I'm guessing that she emailed a link to this thing about, this guy solicited a minor child for purposes of sex work. And was like, this guy seems lovely. Oh, what a lovely little lad, or whatever. So there's signs that people at JPMorgan were like, why the fuck are we helping this? Why are you working with this guy? By the time of Epstein's 2008 guilty plea to the solicitation charge, JPM labeled Epstein a high-risk client, and many employees expressed the obvious need to terminate the relationship. In fact, a mid-July 2008 internal risk function memorandum documented that Catherine Keating, the CEO of the company's private bank, will go back to Jes Staley, then the CEO of JPMorgan's asset management division, to tell him we are uncomfortable with Epstein. So they're like, yeah, they made the decision. Yeah, we got to sever ties. Okay, go to Jes Staley, let him know. Even more striking, in August 2008, a JPMorgan employee wrote that she would count Epstein's assets. This is some fucking bank talk here, Epstein's assets as a probable outflow for 2008, $120 million or so, as I can't imagine it will stay pending Jamie Dimon review. So basically what he's saying is like, so we have $120 million of Epstein's money, but let's consider that we are going to get rid of that this year because we're going to fire Epstein as a client. We're no longer going to represent him or hold his thing. Oh, Finland Station, you're getting ahead of me here. But so whether Staley blocked the expected Jamie Dimon review or someone with authority such as Dimon or a board member provided informal and tacit support to Epstein and thus obviated the formal Dimon review process, Epstein remained with JPM. So even though people were like, he's definitely we're not going to have him as a client. No, he continued on as a client for years after that. Despite Epstein's 2008 guilty plea and ongoing sex crime allegations, neither JPMorgan nor Staley ended their relationship with Epstein. Between 2008 and 2013, Staley and Epstein exchanged 1,200 emails, including pictures of young girls in seductive poses. Inexplicably, the bank's risk reviews of Epstein's accounts uncovered precisely 0 of his grossly improper communications with Staley. Now, I would say that is not inexplicable. I would say that's pretty explicable. I could explic it. Nobody was going to include all of the evidence that their boss is a pedophile in an internal company report. Like, what do you mean inexplicably? Of course you wouldn't include that shit. Are you kidding me? That wouldn't even make any sense. All right. So pictures of young girls in seductive pose. Like think about it. This is bad. This is bad, folks. This is a fucking bad one. See now the way this guy poses? You can't look at a picture like this and be like, Really him? Oh, he seems so normal. Also wanted to show you this is one of Maria Farmer's paintings. Is this a painting? Almost looks like it's a colored pencil drawing or something or not. Maybe it's painting or maybe it's mixed media. But who do you think that could be? What does that look like? Maria Farmer, if you guys are unfamiliar, is the first Epstein victim to come forward in 1994. She was Epstein's concierge at his New York apartment, I think 1993, 1994 era. She was assaulted by Epstein. She had taken photos of her, because he's an artist, she had taken photos of her younger sister who was underage to do art from. And then Epstein got those photos and stole them. Anyway, we've talked about her before on a stream, Maria Farmer, of course. But here's another one of her artworks. And so here, let's take a look at this. So it's got this mystery man. Who could that guy looks so familiar. Cannot quite, 596. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Thank you, member Mark. Oil pastels. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, totally. Can totally see that. But we've got this drawing here. So this guy, I'm not sure who he is. I don't want to say, it's definitely Jes Staley, but whatever. On the bed here, he's standing in his underwear. He's got flowers behind his back. On the bed, we've got JPMorgan Chase written on money. Down here's a card that says, money to sell victims to Epstein and associates. Okay. It's a little hard to read here. It's Louis Freenen's eyeball. Who's this? That name sounds so super familiar. Do I know who that is? Now, yeah, great point, Rousey. Excellent point. No, I don't think so. I don't think this is from before these files. Oh, well, yes, the photos, yes, but it's not from before the email chain. Say hello to Snow White. What character would you like next? Beauty and the Beast. Well, one side is available. Yeah. Because I have seen a lot of people looking at this and being like, this proves that she. It's like, no. I mean, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting thing, but let's remember, Maria Farmer was in Epstein's life 95, 96. She would not have been there in 2010 when the Snow White costumes shit was going on. She would not have been around for this. I will say it is possible because a lot of the survivors of Epstein later met and they really formed a strong, powerful bond. They call themselves the Survivor Sisters. They all really kind of support each other. I mean, I shouldn't say all, but a lot of them have a very close bond. So it's possible, right, that whoever Snow White is talked to Maria Farmer and gave her some more information. But technically, I don't think there's anything on here that, we wouldn't just expect Maria Farmer to have been able to know or guess. So this came out. I think the thing with JPMorgan Chase, that court case was in 2022. When was that article I just showed? When did that come out? 2023. So we don't know exactly when this painting was made, but where we got it. Because I mean, I try to keep up with Maria Farmer stuff. I had never seen this before until recently, and it leaked from a sort of bizarre, maybe I shouldn't say bizarre, but a strange email thread that appears to be, it's from a redacted person to a ton of people. CC all of these people who may be related to Epstein or the FBI or something like that. I don't even know who most of these people are. And most of them are redacted anyway. And it's someone threatening them, sort of thing, and being like, I want to file criminal charges against Sherry Redstone and Vincom. Redacted King, you, my friend, will be named witness. So I want to give an honest statement to the FBI or the Met Police. Email addresses above. So, this person, Michelle Burford, Ann Wojcicki, who is on the island with me and others alongside Sergey Brin, Maxwell Blank, etc. So it seems like this is from an Epstein victim, maybe, but it's from 2025. This was sent in 2025, and among the attachments, it's all threats. I'm completely shocked you still have your job with the FBI. How's your father's friendship with the Clintons going? A lot of all cap stuff. I don't know who it's by, but somebody was trying to make these freaks sweat a little bit. And so, yeah, we've got some Maria Farmer art here. This one's interesting. So that's Jamie Dimon, right? On the right here, I think. And that's Brad Edwards, one of the lawyers for the Epstein victims. And there's a better picture of him here where it says, #1 salesman, used cars, tuna fish, adult Epstein recruiters. Interesting. So it seems like, and look in the background there, JPMorgan Chase and Co. which obviously Jamie Dimon is connected to. So, like, these artworks represent a lot of Maria Farmer's theories about the Epstein case. Maria Farmer is somebody who is a victim of Epstein, right? A survivor. I mean, worth pointing out, these are her own theories, right? She has done a lot of reading and a lot of taking in information of her own. She probably has access to stuff that we don't have access to. I wouldn't take her word as 100% true or whatever, but it's interesting because it does seem she sees Bradley Edwards as sort of a traitor to the Epstein victims, which is, I mean, I know a lot of people think that, and I think there are good reasons for that. The thing about being a salesman for adult Epstein recruiters, I'm not totally sure what that might refer to, but don't know who this guy is. Epstein and Waco by Louis Freeh. Is that who that is? Louis Freeh. Oh, wait a second. Hang on. There's a new thing out, by the way. You guys seen this? You guys heard about this? You guys seen this? You heard about this? It's called Jikipedia. Jikipedia is the new, so J-Mail has put out a new thing. It's called Jikipedia, the J-Mail Encyclopedia. And it's cool because you can look up anyone involved with the Epstein case, but it doesn't have everyone. But it has some people. Who is Louis Freeh? Who is this? Louis Freeh. American attorney and former judge who served as the 5th director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation from September 1993 to June 2001. Oh, he's appointed as FBI director by Bill Clinton. Okay. Pizza connection case. What the heck is this? Oh, wow. A drug trafficking operation in the United States by Sicilian organized crime members who used pizza parlors as fronts. Damn, the original Pizzagate. Okay, whatever. Oh, Ruby Ridge. Okay, so he would have been perhaps, Waco. So he was what during Waco? An investigation of the events of April 1993. Oh, he did the investigation on whether or not, the ATF murdered a bunch of children or it was Koresh, the Branch Davidians. Okay. But that would make sense why it says Epstein and Waco. Unabomber. Okay, this guy's been involved in everything. Criticism. Is there anything about Epstein? No, there's nothing about Epstein on this page. What? But his name sounds so familiar to me. Oh, is this him? That does look like does it? Louis Freeh? Could that be him? It's a little hard to say. Oh, sorry. I'm not showing you the right thing. It's a little hard, but I sort of think he's got this mole, right, on his chin, which he has, although it's on the wrong side. It might not be him. Who knows? Who this girl is supposed to be? I mean, I assume that this is something to do with somebody. And does anyone have Maria Farmer's blaming her for the FBI ignoring her complaint about Epstein? Interesting. Yeah, I think Maria Farmer's a little pilled. And if anyone is allowed to get into, QAnon type stuff and whatever, the more out there conspiracy theories, I think that the victims of Epstein are absolutely, they all get a free pass on this stuff. But I've never heard of a connection between Epstein and Waco. That seems some Alex Jones type stuff, It's hard to say. Oh, down here. What else? Let's look at these, actually. These are kind of interesting. Bill Barr, obviously. That's Bill Barr. That's Epstein. This looks like, I think this is Epstein when he was younger. The photo on the wall there. Not sure who this is. That looks like Bill Barr and Trump. Over here, what do we got? That's Trump sitting on a toilet in prison, right? Ghislaine Maxwell is there. I wish these were higher res. Would be, because she puts so many little tiny words in. What is she trying to tell us here? I like how she draws people where it's like very detailed faces, shading and stuff, and then the bodies are sort of cartoonish and grotesque. We got The Shining girls over here. I'm not sure who these are. These look, they're the same person, but oh yeah, what the fuck? This is Snow White. This is another Snow White. Damn. Okay. And then what's this? Pralaya was an adult sex worker turned 6-year pro. What am I looking at here? What is this? Was this an attachment? Because the emails that this person was sending, they had a bunch of picture attachments. Is that what I'm looking at? Is that what this is? Like Satan, you aren't even worthy of our words. I'm reduced to images because this disgust is so extraordinary. We will put each of you in the proper place, I promise. I mean, is possible? I mean, could this maybe be Maria Farmer sending these herself? But then why does this one look like it's this is like an iPhone screenshot, right? Okay, so this is something with Snow White. Here's one. Now, does anybody know who might know what? I think I got everyone else in this picture because this is just a detail. There's a bigger picture version of this. We've got Prince Andrew holding a comically long schlong, and I thought his shirt said, I thought it said crack. It's like a heart. It says crack on it. Well, it's definitely Prince Andrew. And this has got to be Harvey Weinstein, rather. I was mixed up because you say Harvey Weinstein and then Brett Weinstein. So some people pronounce him differently. But he's got an Oscar in his hand. That kind of also looks like a dildo. But I'm not sure who this very exaggerated Jewish guy is. He's got what you call those things, but some of the very, Orthodox Hasidic Jews, they'll kind of wrap these little boxes of, I think it has some sort of text from, one of their holy books. Sorry, I'm not super up on this part of the Jewish religion, but that seems like what she's trying to depict here, and he's got the long kind of curls. But who this guy is, who it's supposed to be. And then here's a wider shot. We've got, this I want to say Al Gore, but Al Gore did go to the island. And then over here we've got Bill Clinton and Hillary. They're all drawn. They have these sort of like pill bodies, they can't stand up. They're all lying down. Why? And then you can see Bill has a, Star of David on the American flag, Israel connections. Hillary, of course, has the Star of David on her shirt. And this one is, I did not know who this was at first, but I was looking this up, and people have found a photo of Elizabeth Holmes. Remember her? Remember that lady? Elizabeth Holmes? Let me see if I can find the picture. Elizabeth Holmes. She's actually in the same prison as Ghislaine Maxwell right now. Yeah, okay. I guess there's a bunch of pictures like this, but it's like this weird hair thing she's got going on. Why does it look like that? It's like, why is it short on one side and long on the other side? That stare. Oh, God. I can't believe she was the youngest ever female sleep paralysis demon to found a company. God, she looks scary. But yeah, check out her hair in this picture, and then this, right? You see what I'm saying? It's sort of... Here, let me actually try to match it up. It's kind of the same sort of thing, right? Right? You see? Oops. You see? That's her. And she's got her black turtleneck and stuff. Classic. She put a little bit more life into her cheeks. Yeah, she doesn't really look like that in real life. She's pretty pale. This is how I wish that people would depict me. Make me look like I'm a little bit healthy. That's why I got this colored pink light on me, so I don't look like some kind of a freakish decaying corpse. Anyway, my own insecurities aside. Skinwalker. Yeah, right? Theranos lady. That's right. Yes. Theranos was her thing. I sort of think Maria Farmer would think that. Wasn't this guy gaslighting Pizzagate a year ago? Who, me? I've been gaslighting Pizzagate since 2016, baby. Yeah, I like the art style. Yeah, Chelsea Clinton would also make sense, but weirdly, Chelsea Clinton kind of looks like Elizabeth Holmes now that I think about it. Maybe not, but somewhat. Down here, this is don't freak out, YouTube. There is a penis here, but it is drawn in a cartoon devil. Right? This is art. This is art, and I will not have my right to free expression. I think that should be fine. But look at this. Look who's on the shoulder here. That's Jes Staley. And I believe this is another depiction of Brad Edwards. That's Jes Staley, that's Brad Edwards, I think. It looks like Brad Edwards to me. It's a little bit hard to tell. I don't want to jump to conclusions. And could that be Jamie Dimon? I'm not sure. But over here, that looks like Pottinger, right? Stan Pottinger? I think maybe Pottinger, because it also says up here, Edwards Pottinger LLC, right? And we've got Brad Edwards with Jes Staley on his shoulder and Pottinger here, and they're all devils. And Edwards' tie says, tie of lies. And Jamie Dimon says, CIA. And not sure who this guy is. Who could this be? Same tie, it says. Or some tie? I'm thinking Pottinger. I'm thinking Pottinger. The false worship by lawyers, in quotes. And like, as much as I'm like, well, Maria Farmer might be a little bit more pilled than me. I do think, Pottinger is absolutely someone to be suspicious of. Let me look him up. Right? You sort of see it? I think that's who it is. But it's a bit hard. I guess this guy's the real mystery. Who's this? I'm not sure. Like, that's what I'm thinking at Secret Agent Dan. That would be my best guess. He's got like a bra or something on one of his horns. Or a bikini top. Some tie. The double-handed deck. It sort of almost looks like she was designing tarot cards. Right? Some of these. Anyway, what's up with this one? That looks like Virginia to me. Virginia Roberts. Virginia Giuffre. Punching the Queen. I like that one a lot. Oh, and there's also a guy in the corner. I gotta know who that is. Wearing a dunce cap. Maybe is that Prince Andrew, maybe? This one's awesome. This is humanism, feminism equals. Can't read that word. And then it looks like it's pointing at This girl, it says Maria Farmer's hero or Shiro, I think. Oh God. Yeah. And then it's burning is that an Israeli flag? And it says Mossad, MI6, CIA, FBI on it coming out of the Queen. Queen's also got a Nazi, whatever. Hey, you can say it's heavy-handed, but like, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. And another close-up of this, another close-up of this. There's the Prince Andrew schlong here. This one people have found, this is definitely Meghan McCain, tireless advocate for Israel and AIPAC, ADL, CIA. There's a photo of her wearing this exact outfit in this exact pose and stuff. She's got like, and it looks like a cake or a cheese wheel or something with a Star of David on it. And there's a slice taken out. And then in the background, there's starving children, presumably Palestinian. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that's good. That's true. That's a good representation of how evil Meghan McCain is when it comes to this issue. And then here we go. Here's the one we started this journey with. Although in this version, the Maria Farmer signature is redacted. As if you could hide that this is Maria Farmer. No one else draws like this. No, this is a very identifiable art style. Yes, that's right. Yeah. The Queen's father, yeah, I think they were all Nazi sympathizers during World War II, the royal family. There's like a photo of them zig heiling. Yeah, Brie made of blood, maybe. Yeah, because it's red on the inside, right? It's kind of like an inside-out Baby Bell, you know? Maybe like a red velvet cake. This one just looks like some sort of Picasso. Somebody's snorting a bunch of coke off of a Picasso? Oh, no, wait. Oh, are these body bags? And this is somebody holding it? This could be a Palestine thing, actually. Oh, yeah. It's a flag of Palestine. And then this is, I think, a reference to Guernica, the Picasso artwork. Is that right? That's like his most famous thing. Yeah. I'm gonna try and line it up for you guys. Yeah, I think it is. This is from Guernica. There we go. Right, that's it. See, guys, listen. I told you. I just saw that. I just got that just now. Just from. I didn't have this prepped. I just looked at it and was like, is that from Guernica? Yo, my high school art teacher would be so proud of me. So okay, so it's like a representation of Guernica, which is basically like a cry of anguish about the Spanish Civil War, representing this woman being attacked on a flag of Palestine. She's breathing out fire and surrounded by the sort of Palestinian, like the body bags, because they have so many dead during the genocide. Oh, yeah, that one's powerful, I would say. I'm sorry, I initially thought it was someone snorting coke off of a Picasso. This one doesn't look like Maria Farmer at all. Oh, it's from a music video. Elvis Presley, You're the Devil in Disguise, official animated video. Okay. And down here, you will all go down for what you've done to myself and other Epstein victims. This is your last chance for redemption. Butterfly. And the butterfly makes me think maybe it's Virginia. Maybe this is from Virginia, because the butterfly is kind of Virginia's personal symbol. Okay, so back on the Jes Staley stuff. We're mainly talking about Snow White over here. I have seen people kind of getting upset about this and being like, look, Maria Farmer predicted it all. And it's like, no, not really. This is something that's already existed. Oh, and there's something written on the dress here. Willing participant. Interesting. Willing participant was written on the dress of Snow White. What that means. Adult recruiter card. Louis Freeh's eyeball. Okay, we got that. The FBI dude. Edwards Pottinger. Okay. Does it say for rent or something at the top? I can't write. Edwards Pottinger. I want to say profit. We profit. And then what's that symbol? Is that JPMorgan Chase symbol? JPMorgan Chase adult recruiter card. Louis Freeh's eyeball. Man, some of it's a little bit out there for me. I can't quite tell what it means. No, Snow White's not Ghislaine. Snow White is someone. I mean, I guess more than one person could have worn the Snow White costume, right? But we know this person was doing student films, struggling actor doing student films. Epstein was trying to get them connected with Brett Ratner to be in his Snow White movie. Yeah, I'm guessing that this person was young, one of his young victims. This is not Ghislaine. That is definitely not Ghislaine. Long hair, too. You see the long brown hair. Bare feet. I feel like this is a bit of a, makes me feel gross looking at this picture. But, and I think we got another look over here. And I'm not sure if, could this be the same girl? Her hair looks darker here, but that could just be this is a photo of a photo. We don't know what we're looking at here. But the hair looks like it's about the same length, right? Yeah, I think this is the same girl. So this is not Ghislaine. And I think this is the girl that was trafficked to Staley. But I mean, that's a good question, those students, because I mean, it could be, you know, seems like maybe Bill Clinton or Doug Band they had a relationship with Ghislaine, a sexual relationship, and maybe both of them. But this one, This is a photo that was sent a day after the Jes Staley one and the Solana P. The Snow White was fucked twice as soon as she put on her costume. Yeah, something fucked up happened here. In the Snow White painting is the yellow skirt and wig Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I think that's all Snow White. That's all. Yeah, that's all from the same costume. If we look at the actual costume down here, yes, Snow White's got the yellow dress. But I will say there is something maybe I should mention here, because the way that willing participant is written on the skirt, and like she's sort of smiling, she's holding money in her hand. I feel like Maria Farmer, she sometimes does like some victim blaming. I feel, but yeah, Dan Bongino's on the case. Yeah, the case of beer in his fridge. Nice Django Fett, 48.79. All right, but so yeah, I guess that's the stuff that I wanted to go over for Snow White. But there's another thing. All right, this is so okay. Admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about this particular document. I think Mark J, you've gone through this a lot. This document. This one is really interesting. I don't really know what I'm looking at or when it was written. If anyone knows more about this, please, chat, let me know. But this is like, it seems like a girl's diary, and it's very sort of artistic and creative, and there's a lot of collage elements, right? Which is like cutting things from magazines, We, your blood family, will do all we can. Picture. And then there's these parts. You guys see that? Where it's like this row of letters. It's very difficult to read, but what you do is you just kind of go in a zigzag. Like you start on the top left and you go down, up to the right, down, up to the right, down. So it's like, okay, what did this say? To send you away and take away your life, period. Ticking time with Wait, what the heck? Ticking time with shortened. Let me go over here again. Schedules and waiving all my absent days to fit the scheduling of vile men! ! Now, don't worry, I am not going to read through this entire thing right now. This is from Jane Doe, who sued Leon Black. Oh, okay. In her amended 2024 lawsuit, she mentioned this diary. Kyle, the filmmaker. Thank you, Kyle. Also, shout out Kyle, the filmmaker. I know, Kyle, you were, I think, the first person I saw who had found that Snow White picture to begin with, the one from this thing, right? I don't know if you're the first person who just discovered that period, but you're the first person I saw talking about that. So yeah, shout out Kyle, the filmmaker, another Epstein-brained content creator. Kyle's got a podcast, or is working on a podcast, but right now you're working on a Substack or something like that? Yeah, it's irritating. It's wild how all these files have zero information about where they came from or when they were created or anything else. That does make it very frustrating, because it would be so useful to be able to construct a timeline easily, and it's simply not. But, oh, interesting. She prominently accuses Leon Black. There's also hints to Larry Summers. So, yeah, now, with the Leon Black stuff, I know a few girls have accused Leon Black, and I think one or two, they've been thrown out of court. He's been exonerated or whatever, but come on now. Let's be real. Not the first, but I have a good memory, and seeing this photo in the Staley email clicked everything into place. Okay, cool. Oh, Dan Snyder mentioned here too, eh? Interesting. But yeah, so I haven't gone through. I should go through this whole thing, honestly, because there's so much in here. There's one part, actually, that's crazy. One good thing about the way that she wrote it, where it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's not that hard to decode. It's just annoying to read. And definitely things that they should have redacted are not redacted. If she had written them out in her diary straight up, I feel like the DOJ would be like, oh no, we can't have that guy's name in there. Look at this stuff. Until she cried, one little child, control, power, and young kids. The art of performance, the making of a more powerful family. The solution is death. Anyway, very scary stuff. I mean, they did do some redactions here. They read it over a little bit, at least. Down on this page, it's got a picture of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, found in the Epstein files. Please behave like the evolved Homo sapien you are and kindly refrain from licking. And this says over here, yucky, but they can't wow. All right, I did write this out. I wrote it out just in case I was going to have a hard time with it. Yucky, but they can't behave is what it says. And I guess this was from the Leon Black lawsuit, and her lawyer said that when she talks about yucky is her way of talking about abuse. When that word is used, very, very unsettling. But yeah, okay. So yucky, but they can't behave. What if you didn't have to worry about, and it's a mystical island, but mystical's crossed out, and she's written horror island, photos, the unexpected visit from, and here we go, the disgusting Mr. Staley is what it says here. The unexpected visit from the disgusting Mr. Here, see here? Staley. You can't see my cursor. But anyway, the disgusting Mr. Staley. If any, and now this is part's crazy, okay? Because we know Jes Staley was showing up and having sex with a girl dressed as Snow White. Like we're like, I'd say we can be 99% sure that did happen. And then he was like, oh, I'd like to try Beauty and the Beast next. But then get this person who was victimized by a bunch of other men apparently, and actually was part of this lawsuit against Leon Black. She says, the unexpected visit from the disgusting Mr. Staley. If anyone ever calls me Tinkerbell again, I will lose my mind. If anyone ever calls, I've actually sort of thrown out the idea that I had originally when I saw this in the Business Insider article or whatever it was. Oh, this is their code words. They're obviously not being literal. No. I do sort of think this is literal. I think that Jes Staley for him, it wasn't enough that these girls were underage or being trafficked to him against their will or whatever. No, he also wanted them to be Disney princesses. This doesn't seem like a code to me anymore. I could sort of think this was just his weird fucking Disney adult kink that he had. Jes fucking Staley. Super powerful guy. Anyway, I'll read the rest of this. It says, if anyone ever calls me Tinkerbell again, I will lose my mind. He left bloody marks on my arms from his belt and thought he had the right to call me that when he has ears as big as Dumbo. I should have called him that in return. Another Disney character. She's like, yeah, you're Dumbo. Oh, I'm Tinkerbell, you're Dumbo. Honestly, that pretty good burn. And then it says, and then this part's in quotes. You can see at the very end, you've been a very, very naughty girl. Presumably something that fucking Jes Staley said to her. So that is nuts. If I get called that one more time. So yeah, there we go. That is the conclusion of our tale. Jes Staley, the worst Disney adults. I mean, Disney adults, they're not evil. They're just annoying, They're not evil people just from being Disney adults. I'm sure many of them are. I'm sure there are many of them are good people, but they're not sending their best, I guess we could say. But Jes Staley, sir, you are evil. This guy sucks. Yeah. I mean, maybe that photo was sent to him, right? Maybe this was sent to him. This was sent just a day after this one. Say hi to Snow White. But we don't know because it's redacted. Anyway. Very weird. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. Yeah, that's true. That could be from Jes Staley. I mean, who knows? We're grasping at straws here. I don't want to make any crazy guesses, but I feel like for this one, we don't have to. Mark J said it best earlier. This guy might be the most clearly guilty guy out of anybody. Even with like Dershowitz and whatever. This guy left a fucking paper trail, a photo trail. They were sending each other, and we don't have these. But apparently, according to the lawsuit from 2023, between 2008 and 2013, Staley and Epstein exchanged 1,200 emails, including pictures of young girls in seductive poses. Crazy. I wonder if what's it called? JWiki, Wikipedia. Does it have a page on Jes Staley? It does. 6,021 emails. Now I do find this website good and useful, especially if you're like, who's that guy again? Doesn't have everybody. It only has some of the main people. But what's kind of lame, but also understandable, is it's all written by AI. So I wouldn't say it's extremely reliable, but it can give you a good overview. Hey, he does have big ears, eh? Yeah. Dumbo.